Right, now a while back we made a video about Absolute Black's new Graphenlube. Could we measure those performance gains they claimed using just an indoor trainer and a power meter? And the answer was yes, we could. And now we're back. Basically, because we've made a rod for our own back and all the other bike lube manufacturers are like, what about our lube? So, welcome to part 2 of road.cc tries out a bunch of lubes featuring these 3 lubes which all make grand claims, which I'm going to read out verbatim. And before you ask, no, they haven't paid us to make this video, we just thought it would be kind of interesting, so away we go. If you've got any questions about these lubes, or you've got a lube that you'd like us to test, stick it in the comments below, we'll see what we can do. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this on road.cc. Right, let's get cracking. Okay, well Graphenlube is back, it's sort of a control really, see if we can get the same kind of results as we did last time. It is by far the most expensive here at £115 for 140ml, or that works out at £821 a litre. Here's what they say about it. Graphenlube, the world's first hydrocarbon-based wax chain lubricant containing graphene. It exhibits extraordinary durability at single application whilst maintaining impressively low friction for a prolonged period of time in both wet and dry conditions. It's everything you can really wish for in lubrication. Up to 1,800 kilometres on a single application in dry conditions. 3 to 10 watt savings over other lubes. Sounds good. Next up, CeramicSpeed's UFO drip, which looks a relative bargain by comparison. £35 for a 180ml bottle like that, which is £194 a litre. Here's what they say about it. At CeramicSpeed, we know that every watt lost through excessive friction is one less watt propelling you towards your goals. Our new and improved UFO drip chain coating represents another leap in our quest to further streamline drivetrain efficiency. It consists of a unique blend of waxes, trace oils and friction modifiers that come in an easy to apply liquid that provides protection, low friction and minimal power loss through the drivetrain. Excellent. Last up we have Revolube, which is £16.90 for this little 50ml bottle. That works out at £334 a litre, so you know, in the middle of the two. This is what they say about it. Revolube bike chain lube is a hydrocarbon complex specifically formulated to help reduce wear and friction of ferrous and non-ferrous metals. It bonds chemically with the metal component molecules, forming a microscopic monomolecular wear-resistant coating. This exclusive lubricating formula combines the extraordinary features of calcium sulfonate and alkan chloride components that meet military and industrial specification requirements. So there you go, 3 of the most expensive lubes out there, all of which claim to make you faster through less friction, which we will attempt to test. Now the testing procedure is going to be very similar to last time, because you know, it kind of worked. I will ride on an indoor trainer on a bike with a power meter, and we'll do a series of standardized tests, and we will record the data from both power sources. Now what you would expect to see is that the power from the indoor trainer is a little bit lower than the power from the cranks because of the losses in the drivetrain. And the nearer those two numbers are to one another, the lower the drivetrain losses are. We've made one change to the testing procedure. Last time we started out with a brand new chain and then we tried each of the lubes in turn. Now in that scenario it's a little bit difficult to know whether it's best to be the first lube or the last one, whether there's any kind of cross-contamination even though we were cleaning the chain each time. So this time we're starting with 3 brand new chains. We're going to put each one box fresh on the bike, take a baseline reading, then strip it down with white spirit, apply the lube according to the manufacturer's instructions, and then do another set of data. After that we'll standardize the numbers from the 3 brand new chains, and then we'll see what the differences are between the 3 lubes. Sounds simple. Right, let's get cracking. So for the Revolube, as well as washing the chain in solvent, making sure it's fully degreased, you then have to wash it again in a shower gel or a soap containing sodium lauryl sulfate to get rid of all the residue. They suggest any old cheap shower gel will do. I'm using Shelby Brothers original Peaky Blinders tie-in shower gel that I got for Christmas. So next step, get it nice and clean and then stick it on the radiator to dry. So cleaning all done, and listen to that. There's definitely nothing left in there. It's really rattly. It's time to get some Revolube on that, put it back on the bike. So after all that, we're left with just me in a room talking you through this presentation called Friction Testing Quite Expensive Lubes at Home. Let's crack on. So the testing process, again, I was left with a lot of graphs like this. It's the same 15-minute workout each time, power from 160 watts at resting up to 800 watts in the sprint. Average is about 250 watts over the workout, and the chain with a single gear on the trainer, the same cadence each time, and the results are an average of a few runs. I say that I did that, actually, let's have a note about repeatability, because originally what I did was I just recorded everything twice, anything that I was doing on Zwift. So there was things like this, which is just a free ride on Zwift with a couple of hill efforts, and then there was things like this, which is more of a steady state workout. Also things like this, which is a team time trial with a bunch of sprints and hard efforts all the way through. And when I did that, I didn't get any meaningful results at all, nothing. It was only when I moved back to just doing the interval session and only that I could see meaningful results and repeatable numbers. And the reason for that is everything you do affects the power reading. So if we look at this graph, you can see at the bottom here, in the 160 watt recovery period, there's not much of a discrepancy between the two. If I move up here, you can see there's quite a big discrepancy here, and it's significantly different to the discrepancy here as well. It's much bigger. There's reasons for this. I mean, the Neo and the Rotor are less in agreement at higher power, so there's more of a discrepancy. Also, that's the point at which I changed from an 85 RPM cadence to 100 RPM cadence, and that seems to affect the difference as well. And everything you do affects the difference, even if you put the trainer in a different gear, so it's working in a slightly different way, or you stand up out of the pedals, do anything like that, it affects it. So really you only get repeatable numbers if you're doing exactly the same thing over and over again. I should have known that really, but there we are, I wasted a load of time. Here's what we tested. So there was a new chain for each lube. I tested each one. Then I tested the 3 different lubes on their respective chains. I also tested a dry chain, so that's after a full lube strip and a wash and a dry. Stuck it back on the bike completely clean. I was using 2 power meters, so I had a Neo 2 indoor trainer, a Rotor twin power set of cranks measuring the power. Both of those claim an accuracy of plus or minus 2%. There's no guarantee that the baseline for both of those are the same, so if it's 250 watts I'm putting in, one might be a bit above, one might be a bit below. But actually what we measured was a maximum efficiency of the drivetrain of about 98%, which is kind of about what you'd expect, maybe a little bit high. So all I did was normalize the results to losses at 250 watts, because some of the sessions were slightly above and some were slightly below. Worth noting that not all losses are from the chain. There's some in there from things like the jockey wheels, but those things should be a constant. So the differences you see should be the differences between the lubes. So here are those differences. With a completely dry chain, you're looking at a loss of 15.1 watts. That's a 94% efficiency. With a new chain straight out of the box, this is an average of all the tests I did with all the new chains. 10.5 watts, 95.8% efficiency. That's slightly more of a loss than last time we did it. The CeramicSpeed UFO lube, that's about 7 watts, so 97.2% efficiency. The Revolube was exactly the same, 7 watts of loss. And the Graphenlube was the best one, again, 5.3 watts of loss. Again, slightly up on last time, 97.9% efficiency. So if we can put those numbers into bikecalculator.com, we can work out a real life saving. So this is over 25 kilometers at 250 watts on the flat on a sunny day with no wind. Over a dry chain, you're going to be saving about 40.2 seconds with Graphenlube, 33.6 with the other two, which obviously are the same. Over a new chain, stripping it and relubing it, you're saving 21 seconds with Graphenlube, 14.4 seconds with the other two. And Graphenlube over the other two is a saving of about 6.6 seconds over that 25 kilometers. So there you go. Let's sum that up again. It's worth taking off your chain and keeping it clean. All chains come with a quick link these days, and what I've found doing this is it's a simple job to take it off, shake it up in a bottle of white spirit, dry it off, give it a relube. It really doesn't take that long, and it can make a difference, and the savings are real. You know, those savings are there to be had. They're not huge and it might not matter to you, but if you're looking at ways of improving your efficiency, this is a way to go about it. There are definitely savings to be had. A squeaky chain is robbing you of lots of power. It's worth remembering that. So if you go out on your bike and you can hear it squeaking, it's dry, there's no lube in there, that's 15 watts that you're losing straight away. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on that. And also, lab testing is not the only consideration. In the description below you can see reviews of the Graphenlube and the UFO drip on road.cc. The Graphenlube does quite well outside. It's pretty hardy, it stays on your chain pretty well. The UFO drip, not so much, and isn't as good an option for outdoor riding as a result, we found. So there's other things to take into consideration as well as just the simple power numbers. But there we go. That is our findings from this latest batch of lubes. Thanks for watching this. If you've got any questions about what we did, then drop them in the comments below. I'll try and answer them for you. And don't forget to hit like if you've enjoyed this. Cheers for watching.